Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I'm Professor Meg.
And today we are playing through Worms the board game from Mantic Games. This is a paid playthrough. This is a game that will be on Kickstarter. I'll have a link down below. Check that out. And this over here, everything you see here is very much a prototype. Rules and components subject to change. A bunch of the components are 100% in progress. Some of these tokens we'll be playing with will talk you through what they are, but they will have better upgraded deluxeified tokens as well. Some of these things, a lot of the components, everything here is a prototype. Just take that into account as we go through it. I'm going to give you a very short overview and background, and you haven't played Worms the video game.
I haven't.
So Worms, if anyone who's seen these guys, and just to be clear, that's these guys over here. I'm going to actually show you one of these over here. These are the little guys over here.
I love the minis.
Yeah, and these are what you have in the video game when you're playing through it. These little guys wandering around the map, pulling out their baseball bats and smacking you in the face, ideally knocking you off a cliff. Worms is a game of chaos. It's a game of chaos, controlled chaos, where you are trying to defeat the enemy's teams of Worms before your own. This is a 2 to 4 player game, which means there could be multiple teams in play. We're just playing as a 2-player experience, which means we're playing to sudden death effectively. Once one player has their 4 Worms knocked out of the game, the other team will win and call it a day. If you're playing with more players, once a player is eliminated, you do one more round, and whoever has the most Worms remaining wins. That prevents your friend sitting in the corner sad reading rules for another game while you finish your own. But with that, we're going to go ahead and start, and the game does start off with a draft. We're going to have a team of Worms in front of us. I have red, you have green. That may not be our actual color with a caveat. The caveat is Meg wants green, so
we may switch them.
We may switch things effectively. We're gonna go through it over here as far as you're gonna be setting things up as we go through the board. We'll walk you through that. I'll walk through the turn structure. But once we're done setup, at that point you find out which team you're on. Although I have to figure out how you actually do that. So I gotta have to do it. At that point, you're gonna figure out which team you're on, and if Meg did not choose green, we're gonna swap the pieces around so she can have green. But with that, the first thing you're gonna do is you're going to take your token over here and place it around the win dial. So, starting off the bat, I'm gonna take my token, and I'm gonna my landmass. You're gonna have one of these for every player. And again, prototype things are changing. They're already gonna have a few more of these in terms of the different sizes, different options for how they configure. Right now, we just have these, and also the art will be updated as well. But I'm gonna put this over here like so. Now, Meg can place hers anywhere, so that's touching either anywhere on mine or touching the wind dial. This is effectively water, and everywhere around the landmass that does not have, well, more land is considered to be water spaces. So to you.
So I wanted to play a little chaotically.
Go for it. Be chaotic.
I'm like tempted to do this.
Go for it.
Okay.
We're going to be having this slightly areas. Now, the way this works over here is you do have the opportunity to jump over, but more than that, there are various things in the game that will allow you to navigate to different terrains in the game. So, and if you had more players, let's say we're playing a 4-player game.
Now that we know that, you can do this.
If you're playing a 4-player game, you can have like other situations like so, to set up however you want to have your own structured landmass. So it's kind of up to you to how chaotic it can be, and throughout the course of the game, various spots on the board will become damaged.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah. As you play through Worms in the actual video game, you slowly blow away the landmass, which means spots on the board become more damaged, and you just fall into water more often as you go through it. So, we're going to have the dice tray over here, perfect. And then from there, we'll take turns going back and forth. You can go first for this section, placing either, and there's 4 things we're placing. Worms, a single crate, which is how you draw new weapons. We're going to have oil barrels, which when these get hit, they explode, causing fire and damage all around them. And then mines that when you step in them, have a 50% chance of blasting and causing issues there. To your turn. So we have a first worm, and again, this may or may not be Meg's worm in the game. We'll find out. But from there, I think I'm going to go...
do you have to place on an empty one, or just anywhere?
Anywhere. We can start off in the same exact spot on you. This is going to be a short-lived game. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop the person down right behind over there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just let's do a little bit of an oil barrel, just spread out. You never know how things can blast. Again, the fun part of this game is it might be a 20-minute playthrough as people fall desperately into the water very quickly, or it might be a more structured playthrough as we try to take each other out. We have another worm down there. I'm actually going to go ahead and...
I'm going to hope you are green.
I'm going to toss this down over here. So that red worm over there, I want to at least have all the options in the world. And there are a limit to having 3 things on a space. So for example, right now, I'm actually going to toss another worm onto the same space to put that limit in play. So now nothing else can be placed in that space.
Interesting.
Yeah, we can be surrounded, but we can... Ooh. This is going to be a bloodbath. We're going to pop a worm down over here, which I feel like is a mistake, but is what it is. Okay. And then we're going to pop a worm down over...
We're going to end up switching spots.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have a first direct conflict on a spot. And I don't know who I don't know who I care about at this point.
I
So
love how
let's
we
go
have an
ahead.
empty spot.
I'm going to pop this double mine down here. So we actually have a double mine situation. So we do have an empty spot. It's a little crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
with that, we're going to go ahead and decide which team you are. So the way I'm going to do that is we have this one spot where we have a green and a red. So for that, and I'm going to take these both. I'm going to put them in my hand over here.
Well, you could do it with the cards as well.
The problem is they're not doubles. So fun fact, the
Can't
cards...
you put the cards under the... I was thinking under the...
That would work. But the actual game will have one color. The final game will have one color gray and one color color. So you can do it that way.
Very cool.
But this is a prototype, which means you're going to select a secret worm, and that's your color.
This one.
You are indeed green.
Yay!
Saves us the time having to swap the worms around. Okay, and with that, Meg,
If I say yay when I'm on these double mines.
do you want to go ahead and go through the turn structure? The turn structure for those, well, I'm going to take a turn. I'll go through the turn structure. On your turn, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going through a turn structure, which is on your play raid. That's going to involve choosing a worm to activate. You're going to activate a single worm. From there, you're going to heal the worm if damaged. The way your worms die effectively is either once they are damaged, they'll take damage and go on their side, and then if they take damage while damaged, they die. But otherwise, a damaged worm can be stood up on its turn to go ahead and activate. Then from there, you inch or jump, and then you inch or jump again, and you can choose not to. But inching is moving from one spot to an adjacent spot. If you move into a spot that has 3 things, you push a worm out of that spot. You heard? So you get to push a worm out. So you'd have that option on the table. I believe, I'll double check this, I believe you just push them in, you have to choose a direction. I don't think you can push them off the ends of the map, but I'll double check that in a second. But then, so you inch or jump. When you jump, you choose a spot that is one further away. So for example, we can jump back and forth over here. The only problem with jumping is when you jump, let's pretend that now that I want to jump across, I would say I'm jumping here, I would jump here, I would then check to see if the mines resolve and finish that, and when that's done, assuming I'm still alive, I would roll this die, and this means I landed exactly in the spot, as opposed to other sides might have me moving in the direction of the wind or around. In fact, right now, we're actually going to set the wind direction, right now, before we start the game, and the wind direction is going to be 2. That's going to be the starting wind direction as we go. And with that, you can go ahead and take... Oh, and then when you're done instant jumping, so you get to do that twice. Then you get to play a weapon card, which is going to be one of the 5 starting weapons. But we have a full deck of weapons. When you go to supply crates, you'll grab more weapons. And then from there, you go to the end of turn steps, which generally involve grabbing new supply crates and possibly passing the target token. Speaking of which, this is your target token. And I'm just going to double check what happens when I push a worm out of my spot. But it's your turn.
Well, I just want to double check. So... we have the same starting deck?
Yes.
Or cards. Do you have 2 of the same card?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
You have
I
2
wanted to make
girders.
sure that I didn't have one of yours. Okay.
Wait, what do you have? Oh, I apologize. Give me your extra one. I forgot. My bad.
You're fine.
The way it works with starting setup, I just did this with early setup and forgot to do it after, is you're going to have 4, you're going to have 1 of each weapon. A girder, a ninja rope, an Uzi, and a bazooka. But then additionally, you'll get 1 random starting card, which is why we have different ones. So you do get an extra starting card, but don't tell me what it is. That means you have 2 of something that I don't know. So I know a bazooka is heading my way at some point. But for all I know, there's a second bazooka heading my way too.
Okay. Alright. So, I'm going to activate this worm, which means I get to open the supply crate?
Immediately, yes you do.
Okay.
Draw up at the top of the deck.
Alright.
Show the audience, don't show me. I won't look. Okay,
Okay.
Cool. Just I want them to see what's up over there.
Okay. And then I am indeed going to... let's see, there's nothing else I want to do because I'm not going to move him.
You're not moving.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I couldn't... no, I don't want to. Oh, I could go into your spot, though.
You could go into my spot, and then we're over here.
Yeah.
So if you walked into here, what you would do is you would prod me out. So I just checked it up. A prod is something called a knockback scatter, which means it's effectively similar to a scatter, but it has to resolve outside the square. In other words, if I roll this, you'd have to roll it again. So if you rolled into here, you would choose a worm, and then you would roll this die and see where he ends up. That would be 1. He'd end up over here, which would cause things to go boom. This game's going to be chaos pretty quickly, just for the record. But
Okay.
things are going to go boom.
But it's only 1 that I do that to?
You only do 1, yes, because you're just making space in the square.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Knockback scatter. That's the first thing you're going to resolve.
Okay. We should do it this opposite.
That makes very much sense. Oh, wait. Okay. That's direction 6. I get pushed into the oil barrel, which does not have an immediate effect. I'm going to move this over here so you can actually see it.
Alright. And then... gosh.
Gosh, oh gee,
Gosh.
oh, how much fun killing those worms off one by one.
I'm going
That's
to...
a callback. If you know that song, let me know in the comments down below. Do you know that song?
No.
Gosh, oh gee, oh, how much fun killing off worms one by one.
I'm going to use my bazooka, I guess. Is
Go
that a
ahead.
bad idea to blast the hex I'm on?
I
shouldn't.
mean, it will, if the target does end up in your space, there is a directional flow. Again, if those of you who have played Worms, there's wind, there's aiming, there's all these things in play. But if she actually hits the space she's in, she will hurt herself. So, I mean, I am a fan of it.
Oh, but I could. Oh.
You wanted chaos. This is chaos.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. But I could have moved one more time, right?
You still can.
All right. So I guess I'll move back.
Okay, cool.
And then bazooka.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Okay. So my accuracy is still 4?
You actually is going to be 4 dice. So the way you read a card over here, let's go through some basic reading. A bazooka card over here, you're going to activate the card text and followed by a move action when you're done. The target is the direct hex, and then accuracy 4 is going to determine how likely she is to hit her hex versus miss for other reasons. And then lastly, blasting hex, which we'll explain how that works. But basically, you take the target token, you put it into this hex over here, and you say, I'm targeting that hex, and then you roll 4 dice. If she was more than 1 away, so right now you can choose any of these results. So there are 2 direct hits, which means the target stays where it is. There's 1-4, which would mean the target would be here, blowing off into nowhere land. And lastly, you have a wind direction, which means the target would be here, blowing off to nowhere land. I'm assuming you want the direct hit.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want the direct hit right now, you're going to blast the hex. When you blast the hex, what you're going to do is you're going to basically see how I move around. So I'm going to become damaged, but as will the crate, by the way. The crate will also be damaged.
Aww. So
supply crate damage is going to immediately destroy it, so that's going to be gone as well.
I mean, at least no one gets it.
No one, yeah. We're going to go ahead and then we're going to resolve that. So now when you blast the hex, what you're going to do is you're going to scatter each thing in the hex. So I have to roll a die to see which direction I get scattered, and I got scattered nowhere.
Why did you roll?
Because I'm the one who got blasted.
Fine.
I'm the one who got blasted.
All
I control my own destiny.
I'm remembering that later.
Okay, and that was your turn. You're going to go ahead and...
And then this goes away?
That target token goes away.
Okay.
You have targeted hex. I've been damaged. I did not get pushed back. I could get pushed back. And wind is always the most dominant direction. The way these dice work is 3 sides exactly where it is. 3 sides are the wind, and then the other 6 sides are the numbers. So there's always a chance of anything, but the wind or where you are the most common options. And then you're going to go ahead and draw one of these cards over here.
A drop card.
A drop card. So you're going to go ahead, let's flip it over. We have...
Oil barrel. Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex.
So emptiest hex are going to be these 2, but you can choose which one you want.
This one.
Okay, great. And then you're going to put a oil barrel in the same hex.
Sorry, I want this one.
Okay, oil barrel is going to go in the same hex.
Remove 3 fires from the map, but there aren't any, and then change the wind direction. Whoa.
Do we count them or don't?
Yeah, let's count it.
So in general, if we roll outside the box, are we counting it?
If it stays on camera. If it goes like out into the carpet.
Okay, so anything that stays on camera, we count. That's the rule.
If it goes onto like the carpet or something like that's not. Yeah, we'll see.
And so the wind for the record means that the 2 options that would leave the wind as is are wind or target. Any of the numbers would change where it goes. Okay.
Alright, I'm not sure where we are putting them.
That's a great question. There are going to be 6 of these cards, which means we're going to have 3 full rounds before we start doing the Doomsday Clock countdown, which we'll explain how that works.
Alright,
Anyways,
now it's your turn.
It is indeed my turn. I kind of want to stand up because, like, why not? But the tricky part is I don't know... Oh, I know what I'm doing. I am going to go ahead. I'm going to forgo my supply crate right now because I could try to go here to get a supply crate. I don't want to do that. Well, it's not that I don't want to. It's that I have other plans. Because I'm going to go ahead and stand up over here with this person. Okay. And then I'm going to wander into here, which means I get to knock back scatter this worm. So I'm going to choose that worm to knock back scatter. We're going to roll. We got a 2, which means you're going to go in here. Okay. Which means we're going to resolve this area and then you get to knock back scatter the other worm. But we resolve this first, which means you need to flip one of these to see if the mines explode. And you need to do so twice.
I'm not good at flipping things.
Should I do the flipping?
No.
You could just toss it up. You could just flip it over here. Do a spin. Do a spin.
Do a spin?
Do it just like just throw it in here. Okay.
I'll flip it, but I'm not going to catch it.
Okay, go ahead. We got, you are safe for the first one, but you have to do it twice because there are 2 mines.
Who's the one, would they both get damaged?
If the mine goes off, the other mine is going to go off too, I believe. Yep. Yep. So if either mine explodes, they both explode, which means your worms are basically dead. Unfortunately, right now, so the way it works is this means a damage. So you resolve a blast when you hit the danger side, you destroy the mine and blast. So this mine gets destroyed and causes a blast, and that means both these worms are going to be damaged. But so is this mine. Although
would I flip to see if it goes off?
I believe you. So this mine is going to damage, but you resolve the worms first. So you first see where these worms are going to move before you damage that mine, which means any worms that are left in the spot are going to go boom.
Okay.
But that means you do have a chance to roll for each of the other worms and see one at a time where they're going to go. That one's going 4, so it's going to be marked safe from explosion. And 2 marked dead. Ah! This one's then going to go blast as well, because that's the way when a mine is damaged, it also resolves a blast, but there's no one left to resolve. And 1 worm gets a... Decide where you want to put that on the mounted shrine of... I don't know. We can put a little shrine of worms on the top of the box as we go, as we play.
No.
No? Fine.
That's upsetting.
That's upsetting. They're just worms. They're cute though.
They died.
They did die.
They're an animal.
That is basically my turn. I moved over here. I resolved. I didn't actually know it's not my turn. That's not even my turn. That was just a prod. I haven't even done a second move. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what we're going to do then? I'm going to go ahead and, I think I'm going to go ahead and resolve an Uzi over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an Uzi, where I'm going to wander over here with that guy. Then I'm going to shoot target hex within 2. I'm going to damage the thing, so he's just dead. And then I'm going to wander again, and I think I'm going to stay where I am right now. So I'm done. That's my Uzi. Uzi goes away. It's going to go on, well, I guess over here we just have to discard the cards. And I believe, end of my turn, I'm going to resolve a supply drop. I'm going to see what we got. Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex. Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex. That means we have a supply crate, then a supply crate, and then change the wind direction. So we're going to change the wind direction, and we got a 6. The wind is now pointing towards the Ides of 6s. Okay, that's my turn. To you. Target token goes to you. So again, we all start with one Uzi. Uzi is guaranteed damage straight up. There's no questions, no conversations, just straight up, just boom. Although so is Blast for that matter. Lots of the weapons have guaranteed damage. The tricky part is you need to make sure you actually get some stuff or you otherwise don't have things you can do.
What happens when you blast the hex again? You scatter the people?
When you blast the hex, it results in a scatter. If mine went boom! Oh, I'm sorry. Speaking of which, whoa, we actually have things to do. We have things to do. I forgot this, I apologize. We put down a crater in this hex when we hit that hex, and this had 2 mines, which means this has 2 craters. If this gets cratered again, it becomes water.
Okay.
Yeah. Which means I probably shouldn't have ended there, but that is what it is.
Well, now with that information...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I will... use this guy.
Okay.
And I'm not going to move him.
Not going to move him.
And I'm going to play a grenade.
Grenade!
So I just get to do it, right? Or do I roll?
Yeah. So it's an accuracy 2, which means you're only going to be rolling 1 die because you're 1 further away. That's the only downside.
Oh, so I do roll for this
you
one?
You will roll for it, but you will blast it. And so you may blast that hex, but also keep in mind, if you blast the hex behind it, you're also safe. So, you know, there's up to you in terms of how you resolve that.
Okay. Okay.
There's things to do. There's things
Yeah,
to
I guess that's my best bet. So we will do that.
Okay.
I hate that I'm rolling 1 die.
Okay. So the target token goes over here, and you go in order of the wind, so you're blasting that hex, which unfortunately does nothing. Yeah, it does happen.
That's my turn.
I mean, honestly, at this point, the noise you made while throwing a grenade and having it land in the water, you have now officially played Worms the video game.
Alright, so I need the population thing.
This card over here?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oil barrel. Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex.
Okay. You can choose, I believe, actually, I don't think you do have a choice. Oh, no,
I
this
could
one.
have done this one.
And here. This also counts empty. Here, or here.
Place an oil barrel in the same hex. Actually.
Go ahead. Okay, just a whole bunch of oil. This situation right here might cause issues.
Remove 3 fire from the map and change the wind direction.
Okay. Wind goes back to 2. That was quick and short-lived.
Alright.
Okay. Well, I think that the only fair thing to do is to cause absolute cam. I feel like I should throw a grenade right now.
Okay.
But I'm going to activate this worm right here. Okay, I'm going to pick up that supply crate because he's on that spot. I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to show it to the audience. There you go. I got that up there. And that is hoo. Then I'm going to wander, and I think I'm going to... How do I want to handle this is the question. I think I'm going to move. Okay, so I'm going to move over here. Ready? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move here. And then I'm going to jump over here. Okay, so I'm jumping over here. That means I'm going to roll. So I'm going to jump there automatically. And then roll a single die. Okay, let's see what happens. And I rolled the wind, which unfortunately means I walked off into the water. So that did not go exactly as I was hoping. I was hoping to be able to shoot a bazooka back, but that did not happen. So, we will go ahead and draw an end of turn card. End of turn card is going to be a mine. Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex, then place a mine in the same hex. Ooh, the emptiest hex could all be these.
Well, no, this one, or these ones, or your one, actually.
Yeah. I'm almost tempted to throw a mine here to stop you from jumping across. Because I would just incentivize you. But you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's throw it there, and let's throw this here. That way I get potentially a crate on my turn. Change the wind direction. 3. We are now going that way. Okay, that's my turn.
And if a mine is damaged, it automatically goes off?
If a mine becomes damaged, it automatically blasts, yes.
And what would that do?
So when a blast would, so for example, let's pretend you landed a bazooka in the spot over here. The bazooka would cause a blast, which would damage me, but then the mine would go off, which would also damage me again. Although I do have a chance to scatter away, potentially, so.
But that's if it's a blast.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna activate this gentleman here.
Okay.
And play my handgun.
Oh, wow, what's that?
I just damage a non-warm thing in a hex, so I'm going to damage the mine.
So target, if you're going to target, direct hex within 2, damage non-warm thing in a hex. Yeah, that works, unfortunately.
And will that make another crater even?
So, yes, it's going to do the following. So it's going to boom, okay, so it's going to resolve the mine, because the mine is, as soon as the mine is damaged, destroy the mine and blast. So now we blast over here, which means everything here becomes damaged, so the crate goes away, unfortunately. I go on my side, but then we're also, because we blasted, this is now this, but I might have a chance to blow away in general. So let's actually make sure the targeting order there. Blast, place crater, and target hex. No, interesting. So I believe the order is because we placed the crater first, I think I instantly sink. The order it gives...
because I was damaging the mine, not blasting the area.
Correct. So the mine blows up. That first step of that blast is that
That's what I was
I don't
thinking.
even become damaged. The damage actually never really resolves. The first step is that this becomes an empty area, and as soon as it becomes an empty area, all things in hex are destroyed. So we now have water. Also, jumping across the board now is going to be significantly harder. Okay, so we're now 2 for 2, right?
Yep.
That was your
now
turn.
we need to spawn stuff?
No, actually, not quite.
Sorry.
You can move and play another card, because that's what the handgun does.
What?
You have to move and play another card.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even understand that.
We have not yet had a play another card action, because usually they're on non-violent things. The handgun is, again, if you've played Worms, pulling out the handgun again, the direct shot is satisfying. Okay, we need a teleport. There's things in the deck. You haven't seen a lot of the stuff. We'll go through it all, but there's things in the deck, including the ability to, like, wander around the board. There's stuff.
I'm gonna move to... Oh my gosh.
It's decisions.
I'm gonna move to here.
Okay. Decisions are not yet made.
I'm
Back
gonna
there.
move to here.
Pick up the crate. I assume.
Do you?
You
Do you get
it's
it right
automatic.
away?
Automatic. Yep. If you move into a crate, it's automatic.
Oh, I
Go ahead
wish
and
I
show
knew
the
that.
audience. Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
And now let me read it, because I get to play it.
Yes, that's an important part of this. Oh. I just read something that I want to do.
Alright. I'm gonna play... Girder?
Okay.
To remove this.
Ooh.
And then I can move and play another card.
Move and play, yep. I'm sad that you removed that. I would rather this be a fire pit of death where I can just explode you.
I know. Alright. I will move to here.
Okay.
And then I will play my Uzi
Okay.
to move here. And then damage you.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna stay there.
It's just doing a direct damage, and you stay where you are.
Yep.
Okay.
That was a lot.
Okay. Okay. And now it's your turn. Draw a card.
Now it's my turn? No.
No, and
okay.
I meant
I was like, whoa, I just did so much. Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex.
that's going to be this
Yep.
by default.
Place a mine in the same hex.
That's going to be this by default.
Change the wind direction.
That's going to stay the same.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this away over here, and I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to stand up, because I think that's the only option I have. So, I'm just going to hope that I blow up the island, and I'm the last one standing. That's my goal right now. So, I'm going to stand up over here, and I'm not even going to move. I'm going to cluster bomb my own hex. Okay?
What?
That's one of the cards I drew. So, a cluster bomb over here. You target the hex, you blast it, you scatter the target, blast it, scatter the target, blast it. Effectively, the cluster bomb in Worms is a grenade that keeps exploding. So it explodes.
Okay.
Which thematically is what's happening right now.
Okay.
So the cluster bomb, we're going to immediately start by targeting the hex. So we put the target on our own hex. We then blast the hex, which means no accuracy 2. So you start with accuracy 2. So because it's our own hex or adjacent, we roll 2 dice to see where it goes. I get to pick any one of these results. So I can either move it to 4, which would be off the map and it would lose any effect, or I can move it towards the wind over here, which is unfortunately where the target lands. That is fine. I'm not thrilled with that, but we're going to work with it. So it lands over here and we blast the hex. Because we blasted the hex, the oil barrel is going to be damaged. There's a lot of things happening here. So the oil barrel is going to be damaged, which means we're going to see fire for the first time. Fire involves us rolling all 5 dice. When an oil barrel is damaged, you destroy the oil barrel, then roll 5 dice. For each direction showing on the dice, so for 5 and 6, we have a duplicate 5, that won't matter. For 5, 6, 4, and 3, we're going to damage all things in that entire range and place fire. So right now, for 3, which means 3, 4, 5 don't matter, but 6 does. So all of these things damage all things in the hex, then place a fire token there. Okay? The fire only resolves when you step into it, but not right now. So that's going to be the first step. Then we scatter the target. Okay, so we're not done yet. This is the second step of the cluster grenade exploding. We scatter the target. Please don't be a 3. Please don't be a 3. It is a wind direction. It's a 3. That means it goes off into the ocean, and unfortunately nothing else happens. So I believe that's my turn. I could keep moving. No, I can't. So my worm, so fun fact, in general, over here I could keep moving, but if your worm ever becomes damaged, you immediately skip to end of turn at that point. So I cannot do anything else, which means we skip to end of turn and I draw a card, and we see what we have coming out. We have a mine. Place a supply crate on the emptiest hex. I think that's going to be this. Place a mine on the same hex. Okay. And then change wind direction. And we have stays the same. Moving forward, we're going to be drawing the bad end of game card, because this is a short-lived game.
Okay, so now what happens with me being on fire and stuff?
So you're not actually on fire. When you move into fire, then you spin the danger flipper and see what happens. Okay. But it doesn't seem, I can double check it, but from what I understand, fire in your square isn't a problem in and of itself. It's only when you move into fire. Okay. Have you played Cthulhu by die? Yes. So fire in your square is not the problem. Leaving the square is the problem, although in here it's entering the square. But yeah, it's your turn whenever you want to resolve. Okay. Yeah, it's only when you move into the thing, not when the thing moves into you. And fire, unlike mines, fire only affects the thing that moves into it, not everything in the square. Alright. I did enjoy that cluster grenade.
Oh, and we'll stand this guy up.
Okay, he's less damaged.
I want to open the crate.
Now, for the record, we don't know what this card is. There's a bunch of these possible endgame cards over here, and they all have different things that will happen as far as moving forward. We're going to have a consistent degree of bad things happening. The crates are going to go away, and we're just going to have bad things happening to us.
Alright. You're going to have to help me with how this works, but I'm going to attempt to do it. I'm going to do a mail strike. Okay. It says target airstrike. I think that means I can shoot anywhere, right?
So first of all, yeah, so airstrike is a lot. We'll explain that. We're going to explain airstrike in a second. This is going to be one of these yellow cards are the super weapons. I think they're called super weapons. I can't remember the exact term, but they're basically stronger weapons. Now what you're going to do is you're going to target with an airstrike. You're going to scatter the target, blast target hexes, scatter the target, blast target hexes. Holy hell. Okay. Okay. Scatter the target, blast target hexes, scatter the target, blast target hexes. Okay, let's explain the airstrike. Airstrike means you flip this token to its arrow side. So you're pointing an arrow. So for example, let's pretend you airstriked over here. Okay? So, and you can pick anywhere on the board, for the record. It's not limited by range. Okay. But what will happen is wherever you pick, let's pretend you picked here right now. You would scatter the target first. So that'd be 5. It would now go here. You would scatter the target again. That's going to be a 3. No, it's still in play.
Oh, because
it's an airstrike, yeah. So it's still in play. Now it goes over here. So then you would blast the target hexes, which are going to be the 3 hexes in front of it. Okay? But then you'll scatter the target again. It'll go in the wind direction, and then you blast target hexes again. Wow. So you resolve it has the range of going anywhere, and it does a whole lot of carpet damage across the board, but it's very inaccurate.
Okay. And I can aim this however I want?
You can aim it however you want, and understand the wind is currently going this way, so factor that into your decision. Because you're going to resolve 2 scatters.
Okay. I'm going to put it here.
Okay. Cool. Ooh. Intriguing. Okay.
So
it's facing this way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, based on the wind being there, I mean, it's up to you. Based on the wind being there, facing it here could be better, but you're doing 2 scatters. Right. You're hoping for a direct hit. It's a not guarantee.
Okay, okay.
You got a target, stays where it is.
Okay.
Now you're hoping for a 2, basically. You got a 6, so it shoots over here, and it goes...
Okay.
But you get one more scatter. And you got a 2, which is holy hell. And then you blast the target hexes, which means he gets blasted.
And the oil barrel?
And the oil barrel. So we resolve the worm first. So the worm just got blasted, which means now...
he gets scattered?
See if he scatters. I mean, it's a decent chance he gets off the board. And... That's not what I wanted. But the fire still resolves, unfortunately. So we are going to go ahead and resolve this over here. You're going to roll all 5 dice and see how much bad fire we get. Alright, so we're going to resolve the space it's in is going to get fire and damage. 5 is going to be... 5 is over here. 6 is over here. The wind direction is 3, so that's going to get off the board. We're going to do that. Also, I think we've been a little bad at not resolving some of the blasts.
Probably.
There's a blast over here and a blast over here. Damage and blast are different, but over here. Then we have... That's it. There we go. That's the resolution. We may have missed a few blasts, I'm realizing, but hopefully it's fine.
Yeah.
Now you get to resolve the bad card.
Okay, great.
Let's see what the bad card is. The bad card is Nuke. Place a water hex on a land hex that contains no worm.
Is this my choice?
Yes.
And then what's the rest of it?
Place a supply crate in the emptiest hex. And then change wind direction.
Okay, so this just has to go where there's no worms?
Yes.
Oh.
If the board's looking a little just dangerous, it's reasonable. Okay. Okay. They got it. Then place a supply crate in the emptiest hex. These are empty hexes.
Okay. Yeah, oh no, but that has all of us.
Yep. Okay. Now.
And change the wind direction?
Yep. And we move to 5. Perfect. Okay, now this is going to be resolved every single turn at the end of each of our turns, so there is that. Okay. I'm going to stand up, which seems reasonable. There are supply crates, but I'd have to step into a mine to get it.
I wanted them, but I was like, ah!
Do I just go for it?
Yeah. Do you die? No, you just take damage, right?
And potentially blast anywhere.
Oh.
That's the real issue. Okay.
This is on this one,
Okay,
right?
here's what we're going to do. Ready? We're going to do the following. We're going to place a girder. Okay, target own or adjacent hex. So I'm going to remove the mine from the board. Then I'm going to be able to move and play another card. Because I move here, I get to draw a card. You can all see what that is over there. It's that bad boy. Which now I get to read. Interesting. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to bazooka your hex. So I'm going to bazooka your hex right now. Okay. So we're going to shoot a bazooka into this hex, which means I'm going to roll 4 dice because I'm adjacent. We're hoping for the best here. We got the target, which is what I'm going to go with. So we're going to choose the target hex. We're going to place a crater in that hex. I'm going to damage each thing in the hex. So you're already damaged, so you die. This one becomes damaged, and then you get to roll a die to see where you go.
Oh, gosh.
Exactly. And you land on 6, which is...
I was gonna ninja rope to here next turn.
I was debating that. Because then you could drop the nukes in the waters and leave you stranded.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is you potentially land on fire.
I was gonna heal, and then...
That's fair. And the fire would potentially cause damage. Yeah. That's it. That's worms.
Did the fire not damage the crate?
So, it's a good question. So, I'm pretty sure it does not. There's 2 terminologies.
Because it was placed after?
There's place and move. Placing is when you add things to the board, and moving is moving into a spot. Fire says when a thing moves into the hex, as opposed to when it's placed. I believe the terminology is specific, is a possibility. I'm wrong with that. Again, prototype rulebooks, things are still in progress and all that stuff, so some things are not 100% clear. But that is effectively Worms the board game.
I just realized this guy's holding a mine.
Yeah.
That's the mine.
They're holding baseball bats, mines, a shotgun. Ooh, let me see if we can find the shotgun. I want to find the shotgun now, because there's a shotgun in here.
And the girder.
Ooh, oh, I forgot about this one. Oh, here, you take this card. Look at that one.
Fire punch.
It's a fire punch.
Knockback scatter, that same thing in the hex. Nice.
Yeah, and then those of you will know, but we do indeed have a holy hand grenade. That's one of the superpower weapons, and it's the strongest grenade in the game. And then here's your generic shotgun, which is actually pretty awesome. Look at that sequence.
I had a handgun. That's pretty good, though.
So it's shoot, move, shoot, move.
Yeah. What were the top 2?
Top 2
Because I would have ninja roped over here.
Oh, here. I mean, I don't know if I shuffled it off, but here you go.
I'm going to say you didn't.
Priceless vase. Jeez.
Wow, that's like super haunted.
Yeah.
And fire punch. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Cool. That is basically Worms, the board game from Mantic Games. I'll have a link to the crowdfunding campaign below. But until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm Professor Meg.
And have a good one.
Bye.